Hello, my name is Isha White. Welcome to my channel for anyone who is new and watching this video for the first time. And for any of my subscribers, hello my OG subscribers, welcome to another video. Today's topic is going to be about the concept of the human touch. Have we lost the human touch? And the idea of no one wanting to be alone, but human interaction and us wanting to communicate with one another, which is appropriate as I make videos about communication for introverts. Communication in its different forms. We can look at it abstractly and do art and all kinds of things, and also more practical ways like eye contact and things like that. So welcome to my channel, like I said, again, to anyone who might be viewing for the first time. So also a note to anyone that may not realize, all of my videos, either the titles or the topics, are inspired by lyrics from songs. And so in the description area, I will give the title and artist of the song that inspired the topic. And I usually link through to some sort of performance of that song. So that's just like a note if ever you wondered where my titles come from or like why I chose those specific topics. It's me listening to music and words jumping out at me and me being like, yes, this is appropriate and fits into communication in this way. So there's a little tidbit that you may or may not have known. So there you go. What's happening presently, and I realize that this is going to make the video not age well, but what's going on with between social distancing and everyone's saying the C word. Some try and prevent saying the C word, but you know the C word that I'm talking about. If you're watching this in April of 2020, then you know exactly what I mean. And if you're watching it in the future, then it'll be one for the history books, I suppose. But during this time, I think it highlighted the ability of human beings to be kind to one another and to interact, but also it just made me think about like how were we treating each other leading up to this point before things got to some sort of peak. Were we treating each other well? Had we lost the human touch? Because in the Human Touch, the song from Nina Simone, she kind of asked that question, actually. She asked the question, have we lost the human touch? The touch that means so much. No one has time to care anymore. But at the same time, she notes that no one wants to be alone. That's very true. That's just true in general. I think it's true in these times. And it'll be that way in the future. And so I just wanted to acknowledge kind of like how we've been treating each other and how we interact with each other, how I operate in this world, and maybe you can relate also if you're an introvert. And if you're an extrovert also, like I'm sure that there are things that aren't just exclusive to me or other introverts. Let's take it and chop it up into the before, the present, and the after, right? Before things got to the point that they are now, how are we treating each other? Much of my time is spent in the digital realm, from the work that I do to the YouTube channel and my social media. I'm online often, and I see all kinds of interactions, and some of them are not positive. Sometimes people seem to want to pick fights online, find reasons to bully people, or if there's a differing opinion, then it's a point for argument, and people go from there, and they end up getting real nasty and like attacking each other on some personal levels. And I think that there's just a level of courage you get when you're behind the keyboard, and I think that that's been the case for years and years. But you see it across all means of social, and it's interesting because I always wonder, like, well, what would an in-person face-to-face interaction actually be like with these two individuals that are sparring with one another? Or I've also seen plenty of positive examples of people interacting with each other, and I see that a lot, particularly like on Twitter. Like lately, I've seen examples where whatever type of work where you're creative or your income is reliant on different types of gigs, and there's not necessarily a salary position that is permanent for you. And if events are canceled and no travel happens, then that impacts you negatively. And they were actually like getting people together and being like, hey, I have a huge follower count. I think that we should try and send money to these people who are going to be hit hard or hit negatively by this. And so they're like, send your cash out, put it in the replies, and people are gonna like call dibs and be like, hey, I got you. So it's like, I need, $100 to cover this whatever expense. And they be like, I got you. And it goes back and forth. And they're sending this money to these people that they, you know, don't know from a can of paint. And they're still, open and willing to do that. And I thought that was just like spoke to the human condition in a way that I had not quite seen before. I mean, I've seen charitable donations and things like that, but it seemed very organic and like of the moment. And someone's just like, hey, I have this idea. Let's try this. And people's willingness to jump onto that in such large numbers, I was like, well, this kind of restores my hope in humanity in some way to see that. And it wasn't just that one example. I've seen it across the social platform in different examples of it. And so I just think that that's interesting, and I think that that's a positive note. And so we know that there's good out there. And after, after this, where will it take us as far as our interactions with one another? Like, everybody's on Zoom now. I just want to say I was the original. I'm just kidding. I've been doing Zoom interviews way before people weren't washing their hands. I just want to note that if you go and look into my playlist of videos, I interview people via Zoom when I can't be in person with them. I was like, oh man, everybody's on Zoom. That's my thing. It was not like that wasn't a new concept. It's ridiculous, but so everyone's on Zoom or Skype or FaceTiming each other or whatever other way you can chat with one another. And IG Live, man, there's so much going on. Instagram Live. Social media and technology has taken so much heat for being like this negative thing that has separated people. It's like, that's why you millennials can't cope with life and can't adult, which, side note, I hate the term adults or adulting. I hate the term adulting. It's this thing where like I feel that it's been associated negatively with millennials. And so it's like the millennial generation, they don't know X, Y, or Z. They don't know how to do X, Y, or Z. And they don't know how to adult. But I know that some people have like taken it and kind of like reclaimed it, I guess, and been like, adulting, I got to adult today. And I don't know. I just have never liked the phrase, I can't adult. And it's like, I don't know. That's the whole thing that's unrelated. But anywho, I digress. Yeah, and so I think that technology has taken a bad rap and been like, no, this is the reason for separating people, right? And so if we look into that, or if we hold on to that notion that technology is like the devil and it's the reason that people don't connect with one another, then it's kind of like, well, it's the tool that everyone immediately turn to in order to continue communicating. So what it's showing us is that we haven't lost the human touch at all, and it was within us all along to be able to communicate with one another. So yeah, people are like buried; their faces are buried in a phone when you're in an uncomfortable social situation, but we know that we have the capacity to communicate with people if we really wanted to. And there's a level of anxiety sometimes that comes about. You don't know what to do with your hands, or you don't know anybody in the room. And instead, it's more comforting. It's kind of like a security blanket to have that phone in front of you and you're scrolling. And maybe you're just like randomly scrolling, not actually reading anything of importance, but or maybe you're texting somebody for support there. But it's within us. Like, that's not something that we're devoid of as a generation of millennials or any of us at any point. And I know there's people even younger, Generation Z, people that are like digital natives and they grew up basically with a tablet or a phone in their hand or some sort of device. But I don't think that we should feel that all hope is gone for us as human beings and the ability for us to interact with one another, for the ability for us to be able to communicate in a positive way. We don't have to be arguing online before the C word, during the C word, or after the C word. We don't, we can treat each other well. People who are considered essential workers. So, healthcare workers and customer service workers also. So, people that are in the grocery stores. And I have a heart for customer service workers because I was one for many, many years. I worked in all kinds of places from sandwich shops to movie theaters and beyond. And I know that people can treat people that work in customer service as if they're not human. They're so dismissive in lots of ways. If there are guidelines that you have to follow that have been instilled in you because it's your job and they have specific rules, and so you have to deny someone something that they feel is their privilege and right, they get angry at you. And you're just the front line. You're just doing your job. And, hey, you're there for your set number of hours and you're trying to get through the day. And they're making it almost impossible for you to do that. Or they just ignore you. It's like you say hello, they don't even respond. You say, here's your receipt. And they don't put out their hand to receive it. Any greetings or any sort of niceties that should be exchanged completely just like out the door. They don't acknowledge you as a person. They don't acknowledge the situation. They want their transaction to occur and they want to walk away. And it's so cold, but so many people do it. And so many people seem to be okay with it. But when those customer service people, those customer service workers in these different roles become the essentials, then they're these heroes now. And we're thanking them. And not that they don't deserve it, they totally do. But will you keep that energy after? After there's no longer a pandemic, after there's no germs to worry about, after the, plexiglass shields come down, will you still treat them like a human? Will you interact with them? Will you make eye contact? Will you exchange a joke? Will you accept the receipt that's being handed to you? Will you say thank you? Will you say have a good night? Have a good day? Just saying, I think perspective is like this thing that I'm obsessed with. Like you apply it to, every part of life. But I think that you have to, in so many situations, to be able to realize how blessed you are, or how things could be worse. And that's not to reduce any situation you may be in. You could be experiencing sickness. You could be financially just like drained, whatever it is. But I think perspective is very important, and placing that filter on different parts of life. And I think that will help with our interactions with one another and how we treat one another. And we can revive that human touch, the touch that means so much, the fact that nobody wants to be alone. Even if you're a loner like me, like I'm cool, like being alone in most situations. But there are times when you just internally, you do crave human interaction, no matter how much of I joke about it, like me being shut in and like this whole situation, like being like my dream, right? I joked about it. I was like, I'm an introvert and germaphobe anyway. Like I've been washing my hands for years, avoiding handles and like not touching things directly, and everything is like, I don't grab door handles. I refuse to get the first of anything like on the shelf in the grocery store. Like I'm like, I've seen people do unspeakable things with grapes and cherries in the grocery store, and I'm like, oh man. And so it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm keenly aware of the germs that are floating around here, and I try to avoid them at every cost, no matter what level of energy I need to maintain. I'm still, at the end of the day, I'm a human, and I require the human touch just as much as you do. And that just comes down to being with others, being in the presence of others. We can still, in some ways, through technology, be able to interact, get on a group call or call a close friend, family member, check on them, make sure they're well. You can send an email, you can send a letter. We have, at this point, an endless amount of options when it comes to being able to interact with one another. And I acknowledge that there are people who don't have access to internet, and so that does limit your ability to interact with others, and it can make you feel isolated in some sort of way. But even if it's a handwritten letter, if it's sending something special, a special gift to someone, then being able to have that back and forth, that conversation, it can give you this level of warmth and love that is completely worth whatever effort it takes to sit down and dedicate time to writing it, or fashioning it together, or clicking the link and following it for a Zoom chat. So I just hope that I want to be a believer that we haven't lost the human touch, and that technology isn't the blame for it, and technology is a tool that, if anything, enhances our ability to reach out and touch somebody's hand. Yeah, I hope that that's the case, and I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. And so whether you are responsibly settled in your home, or if you're forced to be out and about because of work or whatever obligations, stay safe, stay well. I care about you and I love you, and that's why I'm making this video, and I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope you're able to suss out something from it, this message that I'm saying. Basically, the overarching message is this positivity that we know that we're capable of, this interaction that we know that we are capable of and has been demonstrated in these different ways. Let's carry that same positive energy, that same willingness to talk to others and be in the presence of others, even if, it's through screens right now. Let's carry that into the future, however far into the future it may be. And let's be kind to each other. Let's be good to each other, because why not? That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a like. Comment below. Let me know ways that you're staying sane, staying creative, staying well in the time of the C word. And let me know if you have suggestions. Let me know if, just like, say hey, whatever it is, drop it in the comment section. I would love to interact with you. Let's get this human touch going. You know what I mean? Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Don't just watch the video and just go away. If you watch the video and you like what's being said, like it. Talk about it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. I will be making more videos around the topic of communication for introverts, and interviewing others who are interested in similar things. If you want to view some of my other videos, you can take a look at the 2 playlists that I created. One is my personal stories, and the other is playlists with smart people. So they're smart, beautiful, talented, awesome, amazing people that I admire in some sort of way, and they gave me the gift of their time and their human interaction, and they're telling awesome stories, and I always enjoy talking to those people that I've come across in life and sharing those stories with you. So I hope that you'll gain something out of it. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I care about you and I love you. I think I said that before. Just really want to really send a lot of love your way. I think that we could all need it, or we all could use it, and we all need it in this time. Yeah. Be well. Thank you. Bye-bye.